Today I'm gonna be finally discussing the news of the UCS Star Destroyer with...
The LEGO Geek. Hello everyone. I'm back again.
Finally, LEGO Geek is back again, and so first, I just want to ask you a quick question about the UCS Star Destroyer. So many LEGO fans are complaining that it is either overpriced, or it's underwhelming, or just something like that. What do you think of the whole situation?
Now, I kind of follow the bandwagon with, you and M&R. I'm tired of the complaining. I don't like when people complain about a set when you might as well just, not get it. But, the pieces are really big, and it's not kind of a remake. It's a better remake of the original set. So, why complain about a set that you've been, dying to get, and then you just complain about it? So, yeah, I disagree with the complainers.
Will you get it even though it is $700 bucks?
Not immediately, but I definitely will.
I definitely will be getting it on the first day. I might wake up early just to get to the LEGO store on time, and so that way I can have, one of the first sets ever in that LEGO store. I did want to ask you something else about the UCS Star Destroyer. How do you like it so far, and do you think that LEGO could have made any improvements to it, and if so, what would they be?
The improvements would probably be to add a little more greebling, because on the front of Star Destroyers there's a lot of greebling. But I think the best improvement from the original is probably the underside, the shield generator. That's really good. I'm glad they added that, because on the original it didn't exist at all. So they did really good there. I'm super glad they remade this. And
I see. So while I do agree with you that it is absolutely a great set, I also think it's a great set since I'm gonna be buying it on the first day. But I do wish we got like a UCS Super Star Destroyer or a Venator class Star Destroyer. Something that's not really predictable, but something that's gonna, excite the fans even more than they already are now. Do you agree with me?
Yes, I do, but I don't see what they can do much with the Super Star Destroyer, because, you can't really improve from that, unless they make it really big and make it probably like a $900 set. So...
See, the only reason I want it is because it's just so overpriced on eBay and stuff like that, and I really, really want that set.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with the Star Destroyers. People just go insane with the prices, but they do what they do, so...
Alright, now this brings me to my next point. The new UCS... not the UCS, but the new LEGO 2019 Star Wars sets that's gonna come out in the October and, stuff like that. I'm most excited about the UCS Yoda, or UCS-esque Yoda, and I'm also really excited about the Kylo Ren shuttle. What are your two favorite sets that you're gonna have to pick out of the new 2019 Star Wars sets?
Literally the exact same ones. Not, I do see there are a lot of downsides to the Yoda. It's really, I like the original a little better, but he just looks really rugged. But he's one of my favorites. The shuttle, amazing. They made it look so much better compared to the last one. The last one just...
They finally got the color right. I'm really excited about that. That's perhaps the single biggest reason I did not purchase the original Kylo Ren's shuttle, and now I'm finally gonna get one, which is really exciting.
I don't know why, it just looks way better. I know it's because of the color, but just for some reason the cockpit looks really good with the black.
Yeah, I see. And do you have any other favorites besides those two?
It's the one, okay, so it's a chase, and it has two speeders. Forgot the name, but that's one of them.
I do love the Y-Wing. However, even though it is symbolic to the original trilogy, and even though it does represent what we saw in the 4th episode and in our most iconic scenes for our beloved Star Wars fans, I do appreciate the Clone Wars version of the Y-Wing way more, simply because the back engines aren't broken, they're not falling apart. This one is. Even though, yes, I am a Star Wars fan, even though, yes, I do appreciate stuff like the X-Wing and the Millennium Falcon, I simply cannot appreciate the original trilogy Y-Wing.
It's definitely a new take at it. it just looks weird. You're gonna I really want to see what they do with it. They'll probably do maybe a trench run, probably. Maybe even blow up a Star Destroyer with it. That would be really cool.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. Now this brings me to my next point. Actually, more expensive LEGO sets, specifically ones that are 500 and over. I want to talk about the LEGO Technic Liebherr 9800 set number 42100. I'm really excited to get that set. I'm into Technic, I'm into gears, I'm into everything like that. I also am really excited about the Control Plus system. However, I did see a couple of reviews on YouTube of the Control Plus system as it is already right now. Now, unfortunately, as of right now, we cannot actually make our own presets for the Control Plus system. Basically, we have to use either the 4x4 crawler settings or the Liebherr settings, and you move the arm, you do stuff like that, but you cannot say, hey, motor A, go 45 degrees. What do you think about that thing?
I really like it. I don't know if I saw the exact same one, but the app looks really cool. I like how you can just touch and it goes to where it is.
Okay.
It might be a different one, but yeah,
I do have to say something. Even though we all can appreciate presets, I love presets myself, I use them while editing all the time, it simply goes against LEGO's ideology of creativity and innovation, and that the user should have all the control. This limits you to whatever model, to whatever preset that you're gonna make. You cannot make any really creative mocks unless you use power functions, and power functions is pretty soon gonna get discontinued. In the next 15 years or so, nobody's gonna have their hands on power functions, or at least it's gonna be as rare as the 9-volt system is right now. And so this just brings me to my whole issue with the Control Plus system. It locks you in. It does not give you the extra creative freedom that LEGO normally does. Do you see this as an issue, or do you think that LEGO is eventually going to adapt and is eventually going to give the Control Plus users the creativity that they deserve?
I hope they'd adapt, but if they don't, it's definitely an issue because, like you said, their original idea was to just have creativity, and now they're kind of going away from that. Like you said, they're not letting us have much freedom, and I really hope they do adapt to us and that they see what we're going for.
Alright. That pretty much wraps up the Control Plus point, but I do want to address the Liebherr by itself. What do you think of the whole model, and do you think that it is good, and do you think it's worth it for $490?
Now, I've seen a little bit. I haven't seen... I'm not really in depth with it, but I think it's really cool. The problem is, I don't know how fast it goes, but if it's pretty slow, that's probably a downside because, I'm pretty sure kids won't be getting this, like maybe 10-year-old stuff, but...
You kind of have to live with the slowness nature of LEGO Technic models simply because the motors are kind of, weak compared to other RC hobbyist motors and stuff like that. So LEGO really has to, go from the small gear to the big gear to really add a lot of torque to their sets. Now, of course, I am willing to take extra torque over less speed, simply because I want the Liebherr to go over rocks and stuff like that. I want it to tilt over. I don't want it to just go in a straight line and then instantly slow down as soon as it hits an obstacle or something like that. I am willing to take that extra sacrifice, but maybe that's simply because I'm an older fan of LEGO. Maybe, as you mentioned, 10-year-olds aren't going to appreciate this, and especially the Liebherr. It is targeted right now with the Control Plus system toward 10-year-olds and people of that kind of age demographic. Of course, I do think that since the Liebherr costs nearly $500, that many older fans, instead of the younger fans like 10-year-olds, are going to buy the set. So I don't think that this is a huge issue necessarily.
Yeah. Isn't it like 4 motors? I think I heard that, right?
Actually, it does contain 7 motors, so you are
Seven?
quite a pack with this. By the way, you also get 2 Control Plus hubs, meaning that you can actually theoretically daisy chain a bunch of them. So,
yeah, I think I just saw like 2 motors, but that's actually really cool. I thought it was going to be completely different.
No, the reason it has 7 motors is because it has 3 functions for its body, rotate, and then for the 2 tracks. It also has 4 functions for the bucket. It has, the bucket, the arm, the bottom, and that is why it has 7 motors. Now, I do wish that they actually did with the Liebherr model just as they did with the 2010 motorized excavator, simply because that one is the only LEGO Technic set that actually had a remote controlled gearbox, meaning with a remote control, without actually ever touching the model, you could switch the gears and make, suppose one motor was driving a track, right? Well, after switching it with the remote control, you could make that same motor operate the arm. I mean, that was crazy, honestly. Now with the Liebherr, of course, I do think that because on the box it does say a younger demographic, and I do think that the younger audience will have not a hard time understanding this, but they won't get adapted to it as fast as even older fans don't get adapted to the gear switching mechanism. And so that's why I think that, especially with the Control Plus app, it's easier to have 7 motors instead of 4 motors. So that pretty much wraps up my podcast with the LEGO Geek. Be sure to subscribe to him. He has an amazing channel. He deserves a lot more subs than he already has. This is your Unbreak Me here, and I'll see you in the next one.